Namaste one and all. So in the previous video, we came to know what is meant by charge and some of the basic properties of the charge. So we came to know that whenever the body is neutral, it can be charged positively or negatively by adding or removing electrons. If we add electrons to a neutral body, it becomes negatively charged. If we remove electrons from the neutral body, it becomes positively charged. So, but the question is, how can we do this? So, in this lecture, we'll be looking at this, how this can be accomplished. So, the topic is charging of an body. So, we can charge any body by using three methods, that is charging by friction, charging by induction and charging by contact. So let us look at one by one. So first let us consider charging by friction. So in this case, what we do is we try to rub two insulating materials together. So when we rub these two insulating materials, one of them will be losing its electron and that lost electron will be gained by the other material, and thus the body can be charged. So this process is called as charging by friction. So let's consider an example. So here we are taking a glass rod and a silicon. So when we rub the silicon cloth against the rod, so what happens is, so when you rub it, so the glass becomes positively charged and the silicon becomes, that is silk cloth becomes negatively charged. So the reason behind this is the glass is having the tendency to lose the electrons. Since it loses electrons, it becomes positively charged and the lost electrons will be gained by the silk cloth. So this becomes negatively charged. So there are many cases which has been conducted and which we come to know by doing several experiments by rubbing one object against another, and that list of objects which is rubbed one with other is called as triboelectric series. So here the object at the top list will be having a tendency to lose electrons and the object at the bottom will be having the tendency to gain electrons. So when we rub glass against silk cloth, what happens is, since the glass is present at the top of the list, so this is having the capacity or the tendency to lose electrons. So this lost electrons would be gained by the silk. So the silk becomes negatively charged. Similarly, if we try to rub glass against hair, what happens is, again glass is at the top of the list, again this becomes positively charged and human hair becomes negatively charged. So this series is called as triboelectric series. So whenever the questions are asked by rubbing one object against another, we need to buy at this table. So whichever is present at the highest order in the list, that will become positive and the object present at the bottom will be negatively charged. So now let us consider the example when a plastic comb is rubbed against the dry hair. Now let us look at this table. So the hair is at the top of the table and the plastic is present at the bottom of the table. So automatically the hair becomes positively charged and the plastic becomes negatively charged. So still many other objects are being included. So this is the list where we have added some more objects. So we need to add this. So whenever glass is rubbed against polyurethane, so glass becomes positively charged and polyurethane becomes negatively charged. So this is the list which you need to buy. So this is regarding charging of any object using friction. So now let us consider another technique, that is charging by induction. So in this process what happens is charge carriers move or go from one substance to another substance without any physical touching. So that process is called as induction. So now let us consider an example. So here is a metallic sphere and there's an insulating stand on which the metallic sphere is being placed. So the insulating sphere, that is insulating pad, takes care such that no electrons are passed from metallic sphere to the ground. So that's the purpose of using the insulating pad. So now this metallic sphere is neutral. So how can you say that this is neutral? So we just need to know that we need to count the number of positive charges and negative charges. So here there are 3 positive charges and 3 negative charges. Since the number of positive charge is equal to number of negative charge, this acts as a neutral body. Now let us try to charge this body. So in order to charge this body, let us take another positively charged rod, so which is consisting of only positive charges, and let us try to bring this near the metallic sphere. So I brought this near the metallic sphere, but we should not touch this with the metallic sphere. So automatically what happens is, as you know that the like charges repel each other and the unlike charges attract each other. So these positive charges try to attract the negative charges towards it and the positive charges are being repelled. So what this causes is, so now there is a polarization of charges. So polarization means a negative charge is present only on the one side and the positive charge is present on the other side. So now this is being polarized, but still remember that this is not at charge. Okay, this is not positively charged, so still it is a neutral body, only there is a polarization of charge, that is negative charges are present on one end and the positive charges are present on the other end. So now what we do is we connect this end, that is the other end, to the earth. So as you know that earth has enormous or large amount of electrons present on it. The moment we connect this end to the earth, what happens is the electrons from the earth will try to enter into this in order to make this body as neutral. So the moment it becomes neutral, now what we need to do is we need to remove the connection and we need to bring the rod away from this. Now look over here. There are more number of negative charges when compared to positive charges. So what does it mean? It is negatively charged. So this is how we will be charging by induction. We will now touch this rod with this metallic sphere, but still this is being negatively charged. So this is the process of charging by induction. Now let us consider we need to charge this body as positive. Earlier what we have done is we have charged this neutral body into negatively charged body. Now let us try to charge this body into a positively charged body. So now what we need to do is we need to bring a negatively charged rod. So when we bring this negatively charged body, what happens? Again, due to the property of charges, the unlike charges would be attracted and like charges would be repelled. So this brings positive charges on one side and the negative electrons on the other side. So still the body is not charged, it is only polarized. Polarized means keeping one type of charge on one side and other type of charge on other side. Now what we need to do is we need to connect this to the ground. So now what happens is, so again as I said earlier, this is made up of more number of electrons, that is the ground is having more number of electrons. So now the electrons will move from the sphere to the earth. So when this happens, so only positive charge are remaining on the sphere. Now we remove the connection and bring the rod away. So now only positive charges are present on the body. So this makes the metal sphere as positively charged. So this is how we will be charging the body to be positive by making use of process of induction. So the important concept what you need to remember here is, so if the body is positively charged, and if we try to connect that to the ground, so what happens is, so here since this is deficient of electrons, the electrons try to move from the earth to the positively charged body, and if the body is negatively charged and we connect it to the earth, so the electrons will tend to move from body towards the earth. So this is the main concept which you need to remember to answer the questions. So again I am repeating, if it is positively charged metal sphere and if you are connecting it to ground, the electrons or the negative charge move from earth to the metallic sphere, and if it is negatively charged, then the negative charges tend to move from the metallic sphere to the ground. So this is the main concept which you need to remember. So next, the last concept is, that is charging by contact. So here we will be trying to touch one metal or the one sphere with the other sphere, and we will be trying to charge this. So here let us consider there are two neutral bodies and then we touch them together. Now in order to make this as positively and negatively charged, so we take a positively charged rod, we bring it near the metallic sphere, so automatically what happens is polarization takes place, so it attracts all the negative charges towards it and it repels the positive charge. So now we try to remove the contact and bring this rod away. So now one of the metal sphere is positively charged and the other metal is negatively charged. So this is how we will be charging the neutral body by contact. So these are the three methods. The first method is friction, the second method is by induction, and third method is by contact. So I hope you have understood this concept. So thank you for listening. So in order to understand whether you have understood the concepts clearly, you need to answer the quiz which is given in the link below.